everybody, and welcome into Blue Jays Today, where your boys always have something to say about the Toronto Blue Jays. I'm your host, Nicholas Blaylock.
I'm your host, Adam Peddle, and today, guys, the Blue Jays, well, not today, I guess yesterday, they just made history. They struck out 19 batters in last night's game against the Atlanta Braves. That is a franchise record, folks. We were at the game, and yeah, I definitely saw a lot of strikeouts, but it didn't dawn on me till afterwards when we saw that tweet from Keegan Matheson that they just made, or from Ben Nicholson-Smith, excuse me, that they just made history.
Yeah, like, I just kept seeing us sit people down. I'm like, wow, this is a lot of strikeouts.
Yeah, like, oh, wow, Jimmy struck out the side. That's really good.
Yeah.
Little do I know, we're on pace for history right there. So we're going to talk about that, as well as Chris Bassitt in that last start, and some other nuggets with the Toronto Blue Jays. And as well, look at the schedule ahead and see, like, what kind of competition we've got. And maybe the Blue Jays are actually good this year.
Well, here's the thing, man. The Toronto Blue Jays just beat the Atlanta Braves in a series.
Yeah.
And if you would have told me, like, if you would have just take that out of context, right, you know, and flash back to a month ago when we were walking into the season and, oh, we don't know what to expect, everything like that, you tell me that the Toronto Blue Jays just beat Atlanta in a series, I go, holy crap, that is something to feel good about.
Well, yeah, that, and as well, like, you know, a month ago we were thinking that the Red Sox were a wagon in a 4-game, you know, series on the road against the Red Sox. I'm thinking, well, we're lucky if we get 2 and we get 3.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so, like, overall, the season has been going just as planned. And going to that series in Atlanta, yeah, taking 2 out of 3 right there, even though they are playing bad, let's forget about that. That's really impressive. And to do it in historic fashion, here's the tweet by Ben Nicholson-Smith. 19 hitters, the most in franchise history. 10 by Bassitt, 3 by Little, 1 by Stanley. Jimmy Garcia faced 4 batters, struck out all 4. That guy's unreal.
Yeah, he is actually, like, stupid good right now.
He's stupid good.
You know, the bullpen, for me, is certainly, like, again, they're not carrying or anything like that, but the guys that are supposed to be good are being good. And I think that's what's most important is, like, the worst possible scenario is when you get to the back end of the bullpen, when you need to get people in here in a game like yesterday where you only have 3 runs, where you need to lock them down and you don't have anyone that you can count on. I know, at least right now, and it is April, but I know that Jimmy Garcia and Jeff Hoffman, like, I don't want to see them if I'm an opposing batter. Yeah. It's game over.
They're pretty much shut down. Now, Hoffman did give up 1 solo jack. That's going to come from time to time. It didn't cost us the game. And then, you know, Chad Green, Sandlin, Little, it's, like, not a bad middle right there either, right? They've been holding down their own, like, getting rid of opponents when they need to. And then, again, like, then the bottom 3 is when we face the bottom 3. But overall, they've been very, very solid for the Blue Jays. Now, going back to that game yesterday, I absolutely want to talk about Chris Bassitt in this one.
That's mainly your league leader in ERA, man.
League leader in ERAs. He was like my 18th round pick as well in fantasy. And my goodness, he's looking like a league winner at this point because, yeah, league leader in ERA, like Nick said, 0.77 ERA with a whip of 1.07. Now, yesterday, he came out of the game with just about 90 pitches. He's still dealing with a little bit of neck soreness. But Chris Bassitt absolutely agreed with that decision. Yes, I was dealing from his perspective, and I had 10 Ks, but I trust, is what he said in his own words, the back-end bullpen guys to get the job done.
Yeah, and also, too, right, factor in today, the Toronto Blue Jays have that off day. So,
yeah, exactly,
I mean, like, it might be a little different if, oh, shit, you know, like, we're going immediately on the road or we're going immediately into another series, and, you know, you need that bullpen. But you got the off day, you get to rest everybody, so you get to burn a couple arms. And, I mean, like we said, right, everybody pulled their weight, you know, people were striking people out left, right, and center. And Chris Bassitt himself racked up 10 Ks. Now, I don't have the tweet right here, but I believe it was like the first time that he's done this in years to get to 10 strikeouts. So, like, we haven't seen this version of Chris Bassitt in a long time. And I would argue that this is the best that I have seen Chris Bassitt start off the season, or just in general ever, right? You're looking at somebody right now who across the board, the pitching run value, the fastball, the breaking ball, everything is working for Chris Bassitt, and that's why, of course, he is leading the league in ERA.
Yeah, and what I like to see right here, this is my favorite thing on Baseball Savant, I've brought this up before, is you get to see the movement profiles of all of these pitches, and what I really love is you can kind of see the league average compared to what he's actually going to be doing right here. So take example like this pitch over here. I believe this is the The sweeper has been very phenomenal for him. Yes, it's only 8% of the time, but look how much more movement he's getting on average to the left side, to the first base side of home plate. Way more over here on average. Even looking over here, a lot more pitches going over to the third base side, a lot more movement. He's generating a lot more swing and miss, and he's commanding the ball a lot more. I believe, yes, here it is on his curveball. Look how disgusting that is.
Yeah,
look
that's
at the
crazy.
Vertical drop and the horizontal break towards first base. This is like his pitch, and now I don't know what it is right now, but the last time I broke him down, which was last week, he had a 40% whiff rate on his curveball. It was gross. He's phenomenal, man.
Yeah, of course, right? And Chris Bassitt's whole thing was, well, I got to get ahead in the count so then I can warrant throwing some of this junkier shit out at them later in the at-bat. He has been doing that, and we watched him do it all game. Like, I was literally seeing firsthand yesterday, it's strike one. I keep looking up at the scoreboard, and it's, 1-2 or, 0-2 type thing. Like, he's always ahead in the count, which then allows him to throw some of those weirder things, lets him throw that sweeper that he only does 8% of the time, but gets him to do that. And, of course, the results are paying off right now. So shout out to Chris Bassitt for being great. Also, shout out to the management right now. Chris Bassitt came out and said that he is believing in this management right now. Wow. He said that I give all the credit to the front office, not just the team they built, but the changes we made in the offseason, how open they were to talking and listening to us. Now, this to me might be the most important thing that we've actually seen come out in a couple weeks. Now, they're winning, they're playing well, all that shit, but we got a winning culture. Last year, that's what everyone was speculating on. No winning culture. And you heard it, right? There was the rumors
Rosie,
coming out.
Remember Rosie?
I do. I mean, how could I forget, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like, there were so many, bad things coming out. We were getting rumors about Bo Bichette not liking it here, rumors about some of the veterans not liking it here, all that stuff. It feels like the Toronto Blue Jays management, Mark, Ross, all those guys, they took that personally. They made some adjustments, and now, they're communicating better. It feels like everything's clicking right now, and that's the type of shit that I love to hear.
Yeah, and I like to hear that the players are getting listened to as well. I mean, there is something to be said about an organization having philosophy when it comes to analytics. Now, people might get scared when I say that, but you have to be able to. Analytics are good to some capacity, but you have to be able to listen to the players as well. Now, I don't know exactly what they're talking about, but if you got to listen to the players that are on the field, who do I want to play with? What should we be doing in certain situations? What kind of lineups are we rolling out here? Like, we need to have some sort of back and forth because this is our team as much as it is your team. We're deciding to play here, get paid a lot of money to be here. We want to play on a team that has that winning culture and that feels like we're part of and have a decision in.
Bro, it's just it's a communication thing, right? Like,
exactly.
It's just in a healthy relationship, you got to communicate with people. The same thing goes for, your boss and your employee, right? You've worked for people before. You want them to communicate with you. Apparently, they're doing that right now. Chris Bassitt's happy about it, and you're seeing the results on the bump. Now, all of this begs the question, okay, are we actually a good baseball team, though? Does any of this really matter? Or come May, are we just going to fall off a cliff? Well, historically speaking, I would say that the answer is yes.
Yeah.
In 2023 and in 2022, so both seasons where the Toronto Blue Jays went to the playoffs, that's an important note. We were 11-8 to start in 2023, which is the exact record that the Blue Jays have right now. And then in 2022, we were 12-7, so one game better, but still a playoff team in both seasons right there.
Right.
That's really the ultimate goal.
Yeah, and obviously getting off to a good start doesn't necessarily mean that you get, automatically go to the postseason.
Of course not.
Because we've seen in the past, I mean, hell, even, right here, 1989, they were 8-11. It was even harder to get in the playoffs that season. 1993, here's a fun stat. They were also 8-11-8. So, maybe
shit.
World Series bound. But then in the Bautista and Edwin era, 2015 and 2016, they were actually 9-10 to begin the year after the first 19 games. So they ended up having a late season resurgence. But overall, it's never a bad thing to be tied for first in wins in the American League after 19 games.
Yeah.
Hey guys, time for a quick shout out to the sponsor of this video. Hit your picks and knock it out of the park with Betway. Scan the QR code down below or click the link in the description to join the action. Available in Ontario only, must be 19 years older to participate. And guys, please bet responsibly. Now, back to the content.
I mean, like, let's just put it that way, right?
Yeah,
okay, like there's 3 teams with 11 wins in the American League. They're the Texas Rangers, the New York Yankees, and your Toronto Blue Jays. Like, you would have told me that a month ago. I am over the moon right now, man. Like,
absolutely.
Literally, the vibes are so high. I made a video yesterday just talking about how it's like, this is a team that's doing better than I expected.
Yeah.
Like, just across the board, right? They're doing better than I expected. And I understand you're going to get some of these trolls in the comments being like, oh, it's a short sample size. It's April. Shut up. All right? I like watching this team. And I'll tell you right now, last year, I didn't like watching this team.
Yeah, listen, if you're butthurt about watching baseball, like, you're clearly in the wrong sport, man. This is supposed to be fun, and they're actually winning. And if you could still find a way to be miserable, that's just on you, man. You got to go work that out.
And let me tell you, okay, like, one of the most fun things that I've been seeing recently is the home run ball that is coming back, okay?
It's back finally.
It is finally back. That was the whole criticism, and I did agree with the people that were criticizing it the first two and a half weeks of baseball.
I was criticizing a little bit, too.
Couldn't hit a home run to save our life. Nowadays, though, things changed. In the last 7 days, you got, what is that? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 home runs from the Toronto Blue Jays in the last 7 days. Obviously, very small sample size, but we knew that the long ball was coming. Anthony Santander being a big factor in all that. Vladdy getting his first yesterday, which we were witnesses to. Phenomenal. It feels like you just kind of needed to, like, break through that first initial wall. And now they're just going to start rolling.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, Anthony Santander, for me, like, we paid him to do this. He's starting to get extra base hits as well. He's got 3 doubles and 2 homers out of 7 hits, right?
Yes.
So that's the big thing for me. And they're finally coming around, and we'll flash you back up here. The offense slowly starting to come around. We're not last in home runs anymore. We're 25th. Let's go. You know, and again, OPS up there in 13 because we still got that high batting average, that high on base, so it's all starting to balance out. This offense, you know, looks night and day better than it was last year. Absolutely. And they're giving themselves a chance to win. Now, looking ahead down the line, they got some tough competition. The tough starting pitching doesn't end. I mean, we had tough starting pitching on Tuesday. We had Spencer Strider, a tough pitcher. We won that game. But they're going to have some tough pitching this weekend. We'll break it down even further, the Seattle Mariners series on our Blue Jays Today show tomorrow. But they got the Mariners. Then they're on the road against the Houston Astros. Then they're on the road again against the New York Yankees. And then they come back home to Toronto to face the Boston Red Sox. Cleveland Guardians aren't off to a great start, but they can be pesky. So they've got those guys next. It's going to be tough, but based on the way that this Blue Jays team has been playing, Nick, I'm thinking that they are in a good spot. They've put themselves in a good spot. They're hot at the right time to go and face this kind of competition.
Dude, I remember, like, at the beginning of the season, we were all kind of just, like, begging and, hoping, trying to manifest that this Toronto Blue Jays squad would be 500 after the gauntlet that is April. They're 11-8 right now. They have, 2 more weeks to go in April, a few more series to get through. Obviously, tough competition still. And, I mean, it's very easy for the wheels to fall off. One series sweep the other direction, and oh shit, we're 500 right now. So it's very easy for it to go. But yeah, like, they're not digging themselves into a hole. And then when you get to May and you start dealing with some of the easier squads, the Athletics, some of those other teams that, like, just are not very good, should be free W's, that is where you can really start to make that difference up between you and the 500 mark.
Yeah, guys, so let us know in the comments down below. What do you think about these Toronto Blue Jays? Are they better than you expected? And if you are feeling still down and miserable, I guess you're allowed to let yourself be known in the chat how you feel about this team.
Yeah, please make sure to hit that like, smash that subscribe button. $4 a month, become a YouTube member. And thank you to all of our current YouTube members. You guys are amazing.
Guys, thank you so much for watching.
And as always,
go Jays, go!